Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract abundance and happiness, no matter their circumstances? The answer may be simpler, yet more profound than you think. It begins with the power of thankfulness. This book will guide you into the transformative world of gratitude, unlocking invisible barriers and revealing the habits that create real, lasting success. Embark on a journey that goes deeper than positive thinking. Learn to cultivate a thankful mindset so compelling it reshapes your reality in countless ways. The secret to prosperous living is about to be revealed within these pages. Thankful Thinking, Prosperous Living, the Ultimate Success Habit, written and published by Intentional Prosperity. Chapter 1, The Roots of Gratitude. Have you ever wondered what invisible force quietly shapes the way you experience your everyday life? Imagine for a moment waking up in the morning and instantly seeing your world transformed, not by a change in your external environment, but by the invisible roots that anchor your mind. In that space between sleep and wakefulness, before the chatter of obligations and routines begins, lies an opportunity to plant new seeds, seeds that can take root and rearrange the very fabric of your existence. The truth is, so many of us move through our days seemingly on autopilot, unconsciously focusing our attention on what's missing, broken, or yet to be achieved. We chase new goals and wish for better circumstances, yet we often overlook the powerful foundation we all possess, the ability to cultivate gratitude from within, no matter what surrounds us. All too frequently, people find themselves trapped in cycles of dissatisfaction or quiet frustration, unable to pinpoint why genuine joy and fulfillment seem to slip through their fingers. It is easy to believe happiness is always just out of reach, somewhere on the other side of a new job, relationship, or possession. This gnawing sense of not enough can keep you feeling restless, disconnected, or stuck searching endlessly for bigger, better, shinier things to finally fill the void. But even when these are acquired, the feeling is fleeting, soon overshadowed by the next pressing desire. Instead of feeling anchored by a sense of belonging or peace, you might wake each day haunted by untapped potential or burdened by comparison to others. The roots of this persistent ache for more so often live beneath the surface, and they thrive on the absence of gratitude. But what if the answer to this hunger wasn't somewhere out there, waiting to be pursued or discovered? What if instead, the foundation for satisfaction and joy could be cultivated inside you day by day, using tools already within your grasp? The transformative solution arrives when we begin to consciously reconnect with the roots of gratitude, a simple practice that, once embraced, unlocks a perspective shift so profound it can alter your entire trajectory. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a way of seeing, a way of being, and fundamentally, a way of anchoring yourself to what is already here. Rather than waiting for life to be perfect before you express appreciation, you cultivate the habit of seeking out goodness, beauty, and meaning, regardless of your circumstances. In doing so, gratitude becomes a sturdy foundation, not a fleeting feeling or reaction, but a deeply rooted way of moving through the world with resilience and hope. When you plant gratitude as the root system of your inner life, each day becomes a chance to grow stronger, steadier, and more resilient. Life's challenges don't magically disappear, but they are reframed by your ability to see beyond the immediate discomfort and notice opportunities for learning, connection, or appreciation. Embracing gratitude at its roots allows you to reimagine your story. You become less buffeted by external chaos and more attuned to moments of grace that could otherwise be missed. This is not about ignoring hardship, but rather about recognizing the quiet abundance already nourishing your life. Little by little, this inner transformation will begin to reflect outwards, drawing new opportunities and deepening your sense of meaning in ways both subtle and significant. To begin nurturing gratitude at the deepest level, start with a daily commitment to recognize and appreciate even the smallest moments or details in your life. Set aside a quiet time each morning or evening to reflect on 3 things you feel thankful for that day, no matter how minor they may seem. This simple act shifts your mental focus away from lack and directs it toward abundance. Imagine someone trudging through a stressful workday, pausing to appreciate the warmth of a morning shower, the encouragement of a colleague, or the comfort of a favorite snack at lunch. Over time, these tiny bursts of appreciation lay new neural pathways, making thankfulness not just an occasional reaction, but a living part of your mindset. To deepen the effects of this gratitude practice, try writing down your thoughts in a dedicated journal. Write a few sentences each day about what made you smile or feel valued. Picture a busy parent jotting down a quick note about their child's laughter, or a teacher savoring a quiet moment of connection with a student. These concrete reminders act as powerful anchors, pulling your awareness back to what is working, uplifting, or beautiful, especially on difficult days. Even in moments of challenge, search for lessons or silver linings, however small. Gradually, you'll notice your mind becoming naturally primed to scan for goodness rather than disappointment. Another way to plant the roots of gratitude is by expressing sincere appreciation to those around you. Make it a point to say thank you for acts of kindness, support, or even routine tasks often taken for granted. A colleague's willingness to help, a friend's thoughtful message, or an employee's extra effort all deserve acknowledgement. These expressions of appreciation strengthen your relationships, build trust, and create a ripple effect. Notice how gratitude once shared tends to multiply, brightening not only your world, but also the lives of those you connect with. Imagine the ripple effect when a child, recognized for sharing their joy, approaches challenges with more confidence and care, or when workplace culture flourishes because gratitude becomes contagious. The more you commit to these steps, the more frequently you'll experience shifts in energy and perspective. Challenges may not dissolve, but they will no longer dominate your awareness. Instead, resilience, patience, and hope become your steady foundation. You'll rediscover moments of peace and clarity in between life's busyness, and you'll begin to attract more of the supportive circumstances and people that reinforce your habit of gratitude. Your journey into thankful thinking opens new doors, unveiling qualities within yourself, humility, optimism, and connection that anchor you amid uncertainty. Remember, these practices are not just duties to perform, but seeds to water. Their benefits accumulate and grow stronger with steady care and intention. As you conclude this first chapter, take a moment to try out the gratitude routine, whether by reflecting inwardly, scribbling a quick note, or voicing a simple thank you, and observe how this single choice can gently shift your mood or outlook. Let this become a starting point, not a destination, and trust in your ability to deepen and expand these roots every day moving forward. In the next chapter, you'll explore how to build a lasting mindset of appreciation, moving beyond fleeting gratitude to create an internal atmosphere where thankfulness truly flourishes. If you're eager to journey further, be sure to stay connected with Intentional Prosperity and share your thoughts or personal stories as you grow alongside this book. Chapter 2. A Mindset of Appreciation. What if you could wake up with your mind naturally tuned to notice the good, the beautiful, and the hopeful, no matter what your day throws at you? Imagine every morning being the start of a day when your instinct is to look for opportunities instead of obstacles. Such an outlook is more than wishful thinking. It can become your reality when you develop a mindset of appreciation. But if you're honest with yourself, doesn't it seem easier for negativity to grab your attention? Our brains come wired to notice threats, disappointments, and gaps before we appreciate what's right in front of us. For many people, this default setting means rushing through life on autopilot, focusing on what's going wrong, never pausing to savor what's already good. You might know that gratitude matters, yet in the middle of difficult work meetings, unpredictable relationships, or the daily grind, thankfulness can feel forced or far away. Maybe you've noticed how small annoyances, a slow commute, an unexpected expense, a missed opportunity, seem to loom so much larger than little victories. The sense of dissatisfaction grows when you compare your life to the polished snapshots on social media, reinforcing a habit of scrutiny and self-doubt. So many people spend each day mentally cataloging what they wish could change. You might rehash what's lacking in your career, the distance in a friendship, or the imperfections in your home. Over time, this internal narrative of what's missing quietly drains your motivation and joy. Even if there are bright spots worth celebrating, a negative bias often keeps them shrouded. Your mind, unconsciously trained by habit or environment, creates a lens that blocks the visible signs of abundance and possibility that surround you. Here's where the shift takes place. Instead of seeing gratitude as a fleeting emotion, suppose you adopted it as a guiding principle, a mindset to be nurtured with intention every single day, especially in moments when old habits tempt you back into complaint. This transformative solution is within reach for anyone willing to practice, no matter your history or present circumstances. An appreciation mindset is about choosing, over and over again, to scan everyday life for reasons to be thankful. This doesn't deny life's challenges. To the contrary, it equips you to notice the silver linings and subtle lessons wrapped inside them. Building a mindset of appreciation cultivates mental flexibility. When setbacks arise, your default reaction slowly shifts from frustration to curiosity, or even acceptance. Instead of shutting down at the first sign of difficulty, you learn to ask, "What can I appreciate in this?" Or, "What meaning can I find, even if things aren't perfect?" The heart of this shift is in weaving appreciation into your thinking patterns until it becomes your baseline, not just a fleeting guest. As you begin to wonder, "What's working right now?" or "Who has touched my life today?" you'll notice that your brain becomes increasingly adept at spotting goodness. Suddenly, the tone of a morning conversation, the coolness of rain, or the effort in a challenging project can become fuel for your motivation in place of frustration. Adopting this mindset helps you step into each day with a sense of possibility, lessen the emotional grip of disappointment, and uplift both yourself and those around you. As appreciation permeates your mental landscape, it becomes an energy source, one that supports resilience, creativity, and joy, making even ordinary days more meaningful and rich with potential. One of the most effective ways to nurture a mindset of appreciation is to start noticing and naming the good around you in real time. Begin each morning with a few minutes of deliberate observation, choosing to spotlight moments of comfort or positivity as your day unfolds. If you're waiting in a long line, rather than grumbling internally, notice the patience it fosters or the kindness of a stranger who smiles your way. Try saying to yourself, "This is an opportunity for presence," or silently acknowledge acts of quiet beauty, like sunlight filtering through a window or the familiar sound of laughter. Transform these moments into subtle reminders that even on challenging days, appreciation is never out of reach. A wonderful step to reinforce this mindset is to set gentle reminders throughout your day, using sticky notes or alerts on your phone that prompt you to pause and look for something, however small, that you value in that particular moment. For example, Maria, an office manager with a hectic schedule, started using her lunchtime as a chance to write down one thing she genuinely appreciated about her job. Some days it was a supportive colleague, other days it was the satisfaction of ticking off a hard task. Over time, this simple practice transformed her overall outlook. She found herself less drained by minor irritations and more engaged in her responsibilities. Small intentional acts like this, repeated daily, can have an immense cumulative impact, changing the tone of your entire day without demanding major life changes. You can build on these practical steps by sharing appreciation directly with those around you. Letting people know you notice their efforts not only deepens your relationships, but also strengthens your own internal gratitude muscle. Imagine Greg, who, after reading about appreciation, began to verbally thank his partner for little things, such as preparing a meal or handling evening chores. This shift in his communication brought new warmth to everyday interactions, inviting more openness and laughter at home. As he devoted his attention to expressing gratitude instead of pointing out what was missing, he found that both he and his partner became more attentive and connected. The more consistently you practice, the more natural it feels. The benefits arrive in both subtle and powerful ways. You will see your stress levels lighten, your emotional resilience deepen, and your moments of happiness increase, even in routine circumstances. Regularly adopting a mindset of appreciation helps dislodge habits of negativity that used to feel immovable. You become more resourceful and optimistic, noticing new possibilities for growth where others see limitation. This doesn't mean ignoring real difficulties or pain, but it arms you with a steady framework to view every situation through the lens of gratitude, even the tough ones. To anchor this progress, take a moment right now to jot down 3 things in your surroundings you appreciate. Keep this list visible and add to it during your week. Notice any shifts in your emotions or thoughts as you pursue this practice. As you embark on this journey, remember that changing your mindset is a process. Each life event offers a fresh opportunity to lean into appreciation. In the next chapter, you will learn about the common trap of scarcity thinking and why shifting your perspective is essential to building lasting prosperity from within. For ongoing inspiration and practical tools, stay connected with Intentional Prosperity and share how these mindset shifts influence your day. Your story might just encourage someone else to begin their own journey toward greater appreciation. Chapter 3: The Trap of Scarcity. Have you ever caught yourself feeling anxious that no matter what you have, it will never be enough? Picture a life where you constantly measure your own worth against what you don't possess, where every accomplishment seems small when shadowed by everything still out of reach. This invisible prison is more common than most people admit, quietly shrinking possibilities and tinting ambitions with self-doubt. The trap of scarcity thinking doesn't always reveal itself with obvious longing or open dissatisfaction. Often it's woven into daily routines, worrying about money even when bills are paid, measuring personal successes against someone else's achievements, or fearing that happiness is reserved only for people with what you lack. Many people live with the hum of this anxiety, believing they have to work harder and collect more just to feel safe. This problem isn't just personal, it extends into families, workplaces, and entire cultures. The fear that there isn't enough time, resources, love, or opportunity breeds competition and comparison. At work, colleagues may become rivals rather than allies. In relationships, concerns about not receiving enough appreciation, affection, or support can turn loving exchanges into subtle contests. Even simple joys are affected, as the focus shifts from enjoying today's blessings to worrying about tomorrow's shortages. This scarcity lens eats away at peace of mind, making abundance feel like a finish line always just out of reach. If you have ever spiraled into worry after a small setback, or hesitated to celebrate your wins for fear of losing them, you've felt the restriction of scarcity thinking. It's not just about money or possessions. It's a mindset that can quietly starve all areas of life. But there is a way out, and it begins with challenging the assumptions hidden in scarcity thinking. Transforming this pattern doesn't require a windfall or a stroke of perfect luck. Instead, real and lasting change begins with a conscious decision to view life through the lens of abundance. This new perspective encourages you to notice what's possible and what is already present, instead of solely what's missing or could disappear. Building an abundance mindset isn't about magical thinking or ignoring real limits. Rather, it's about choosing to recognize the resources, opportunities, and supportive connections available to you right now, no matter how quiet or humble they may seem. Shifting your focus this way helps release the tight grip of fear and competition. Suddenly, another person's success becomes a source of inspiration, not a personal threat. Opportunities for connection and collaboration once hidden by jealousy or self-doubt begin to reveal themselves. The real transformation happens in small choices, made daily. As you nurture this new perspective, something powerful starts to happen. You stop waiting for some future milestone before feeling content. You become open to learning and growth where you used to see only walls. Relationships deepen as competition is replaced by genuine support, and gratitude flourishes without reservations. Abundance thinking empowers you with a deeper sense of peace, helping you see that your value is not conditional on endless achievement or comparison. Through practice, you shift from constant striving to active receiving and appreciative living, where the richness of life opens up far beyond material measures. To truly step free from the grip of scarcity thinking, begin by becoming more aware of your inner dialogue and how it shapes your responses to daily situations. Notice when your mind gravitates toward worry about not having enough, whether it's time, money, love, or recognition. The first actionable step is to pause in these moments and gently ask yourself, is this really true? What am I overlooking that I already have? Replacing automatic scarcity thoughts with curious questions is the beginning of transforming your mental routine. For example, if someone at work is recognized for their effort and you feel left out, use that moment as a cue to explore your own strengths and unique accomplishments. By turning your attention from comparison to reflection, you re-anchor yourself in abundance and possibility. Create a small ritual to reinforce this shift each day. Morning or evening, write down one thing you noticed going well and one way in which you felt supported, lucky, or equipped. Perhaps you were able to solve a simple problem because of your skills or enjoyed encouragement from a friend. When Ben, a freelance designer, adopted this habit, he realized that instead of focusing on the projects he hadn't landed, he could celebrate every creative opportunity he was given. The more he documented his wins, no matter how small, the more motivated and connected he felt to his work and clients. This positive feedback loop gradually replaced his anxiety about unstable income with a genuine appreciation for each assignment and the learning it delivered. Another essential step is to honor your accomplishments and progress, no matter how incremental. Take time at the end of every week to review successes, even those that seem insignificant. This self-recognition builds a buffer against scarcity thinking by affirming that growth and satisfaction are not reserved for rare breakthroughs, but can be experienced consistently along the way. Consider Ava, a new parent, who was overwhelmed with the feeling that she wasn't doing enough for her child compared to other mothers. When she began noting her small successes, such as calming her baby or preparing a healthy meal, her sense of lack gave way to pride and calm. Her mental space felt lighter, and her emotional connection with her child grew stronger as she celebrated the small victories that were genuinely hers. By practicing these simple steps, you'll find your awareness starting to expand. The energy you use to invest in anxiety and comparison is freed up for creative problem solving, nurturing relationships, and true appreciation of the present. Scarcity loses its power when you train your mind to recognize sufficiency and gratitude in everyday life. Over time, you will notice friendships deepening, worries subsiding, and your confidence blooming in all kinds of new circumstances. Take a few moments now to reflect on something that you once feared would run out. Time, love, success, and challenge that story. What do you notice now that's available in some measure? Let this practice become a sturdy part of your daily routine as you continue your journey. Up ahead, you'll discover how awareness becomes the energy that allows thankfulness to thrive. For continual inspiration and thoughtful exercises, stay connected with the Intentional Prosperity community, and don't forget to share your experiences or ideas as you strengthen your abundance mindset. Your voice could spark real change, not only for you, but for everyone who reads these pages. Chapter 4: The Energy of Awareness. What if you woke up one morning and found that you could see the world with new eyes? Imagine, just for a moment, stepping into your day with a heightened sense of clarity, one where even the smallest details seem to burst with life and purpose. With every footstep, every conversation, and every breath, you become intensely aware of your surroundings and your experience in them. Now picture the quiet energy that radiates from this awareness, a current that pulls your attention away from stress and lack, anchoring you instead in the richness of the now. This is the untapped potential of awareness, and it can become the foundation for lasting gratitude and prosperity. Yet for many, this vivid way of living feels elusive. Life often rushes by in a blur. Each day can become crowded with obligations, digital distractions, or relentless worries. Before your feet even hit the floor, your mind might be busy replaying old anxieties or planning for tomorrow's problems. It's common to unplug from the present, to drift through conversations and tasks only half attentive. In such a state, it's easy to overlook subtle moments worth cherishing: a friend's smile, the aroma of morning coffee, or the feel of sunlight through a window. Without conscious awareness, those everyday experiences are lost to the background noise, leaving you starved for connection, meaning, and joy. The real challenge lies in breaking the habit of unconscious living. Many people find themselves reaching for comfort, validation, or relief through external things, purchases, social media, empty distractions, hoping to fill a void they can't quite name. But when attention is scattered and awareness is dulled, it becomes difficult to recognize and appreciate what's truly important. Without awareness, it's all too easy to fall into autopilot, missing life's best moments while waiting for bigger, more obvious occasions to spark gratitude and energy. You might find yourself wondering why happiness seems to slip through your grasp, even when you have much to be thankful for. The solution lies in embracing the practice of cultivating awareness, the simple yet powerful act of pausing on purpose and allowing yourself to fully register what is happening both inside and around you. Awareness is a practice, not a trait you are born with or without. It can be developed, nourished, and strengthened over time. By bringing your attention, gently and often, to what you are truly experiencing, you draw energy back from past regrets or future fears and root it firmly in the present moment. This deliberate presence is at the heart of all positive transformation. When you become aware, you see choices where there were only old patterns, and you spot silver linings where you once saw only problems. Grasping awareness as your source of energy helps you notice abundance exactly where you are, no matter how ordinary the day may seem. When you slow down to truly experience the sensations, thoughts, and emotions that run through you, you create an opening for gratitude to bloom. Your awareness becomes a living invitation for new possibilities. You see more, sense more, and ultimately feel more alive. This awakening is not dramatic or unreachable. It's as close as your next mindful breath. It empowers you to engage life wholeheartedly and starts to transform routine events into opportunities for joy, growth, and a sense of prosperity that comes from within. Embracing awareness as a daily practice begins with a conscious pause. Whenever you feel yourself drifting into distraction or rushing through moments, simply stop and draw one mindful breath. Use this breath as an anchor, allowing yourself to notice your body, your emotions, and the sounds or sights that are present right now. To take this a step further, start setting gentle reminders, such as a soft chime or a sticky note in your environment, to cue you to ask, "What am I truly experiencing in this moment?" Small interruptions like these bring you back into contact with what's happening, both internally and externally, making it possible for gratitude to surface. A powerful exercise is to choose one ordinary activity each day and bring your full attention to it. This could be as simple as washing the dishes, walking to the mailbox, or sharing a meal. Rather than letting your mind wander, let yourself experience every aspect, the textures, the sensations, the emotions, even the background hum of life. For example, Sarah, a busy nurse, began paying close attention to the sound of water and the comfort of warm soapy bubbles as she washed her hands between patients. Instead of viewing the task as meaningless repetition, she noticed the sense of refreshment and the ritual of care it provided. This mindful attention not only eased her daily stress, but filled her with gentle appreciation during her busiest moments. By repeating these exercises daily, you start to reveal how much meaningful content is already embedded in your routine. Over time, you'll find that you naturally catch yourself before falling into autopilot and become more adept at savoring the present. This increased awareness gradually shifts your outlook from scarcity or complaint to noticing even fleeting joys and opportunities for learning. This gift is self-renewing. The more you practice present moment awareness, the easier it becomes to find reasons for gratitude, even when circumstances are far from perfect. When you make awareness a regular practice, it directly boosts emotional resilience and clarity. You begin to notice when anxiety is building, allowing you to respond with self-compassion instead of impulsive reaction. Your relationships are also enriched. Genuine listening and noticing small gestures builds trust and understanding with others. Diego, a manager weighed down by stress, started pausing before entering meetings, giving himself 10 seconds of slow breathing to ground his attention. This small shift changed his day. He noticed his team's contributions with greater sincerity. Meetings flowed more smoothly, and he felt energized by a new sense of engagement and accomplishment. Now is the perfect time to try this yourself. Choose one ordinary experience today and immerse yourself in it, exploring every nuance without judgment or hurry. Allow your senses to drink in every detail, and take note of how your mood, clarity, and sense of gratitude change as a result. Add phrases like, "I am here," or "This moment matters," to your inner dialogue as reminders to remain fully present. As awareness becomes your source of energy, you'll find it easier to notice abundance, foster appreciation, and weather challenges with greater strength. Looking ahead, you will discover how awareness brings clarity and acts as an essential lens for abundance, illuminating possibilities even where none seem obvious. Stay connected by subscribing to Intentional Prosperity and share in the comments how awareness has changed an everyday routine for you, or what small steps you're committed to taking next on your gratitude journey. Chapter 5: A Lens for Abundance. If you could choose to see your life through a different lens, one that made richness visible even in empty pockets and hope sparkle through challenge, would you dare to look? Picture yourself stepping outdoors after a rainstorm with a camera that turns ordinary puddles into magnificent reflections and muted skies into bright masterpieces. This is not fantasy. It is what happens when you learn to use a lens for abundance in your daily living. Many people go through life unaware that the lens they use, the set of beliefs, attitudes, and emotional filters subconsciously shaping every experience, can blur or bring into focus the hidden gifts scattered throughout their ordinary days. The real magic begins not with a change of circumstances, but with a willingness to change how you view the world and yourself. All too often, the default lens is one of limitation or skepticism. It's easy to only see what's lacking, measuring progress against impossible standards, discounting small successes, and assuming that other people's gain comes at your expense. You may find yourself focusing on bills rather than opportunities, flaws over strengths, or setbacks rather than possibilities. This view quietly steals your motivation and dims genuine joy. The world seems to confirm your limiting beliefs, offering example after example until disappointment feels routine. Life, under this lens, is reduced to a series of hurdles, and even pleasure seems shadowed by what's absent or could go wrong. Relationships suffer as well, with criticism or comparison taking center stage. At work and at home, the persistent doubt that there's not enough, be it time, luck, support, or recognition, whittles away at your confidence and capacity to dream. But just as easily as you reach for a pair of reading glasses to bring words into focus, you can train yourself to reach for an internal lens of abundance. The transformative solution is to deliberately adjust your perspective by looking for sufficiency, possibility, and meaning right where you are. This doesn't mean you deny difficulties or pretend problems do not exist. It simply means you intentionally magnify elements of your life that are full, supportive, or ripe for transformation. Choosing this lens is a powerful act of self-leadership, the conscious decision to let optimism, gratitude, and a sense of enoughness guide your attention. You begin to teach your mind to let go of automatic scarcity scanning and instead adopt the habit of searching for growth, beauty, and positive momentum, even in the smallest cracks of your day. This approach creates immediate, positive shifts in your emotions and behavior. A lens for abundance brings subtle changes. Your morning coffee feels like an invitation to pause and savor rather than just a caffeine fix. You spot potential in a challenging project rather than dreading resistance. Compliments are received with openness instead of skepticism. Minor frustrations are reframed as teachable moments or hidden blessings. Internally, a sense of resourcefulness builds. You begin to imagine solutions and connections where obstacles once stood, relate more kindly to yourself, and nurture a quieter, truer form of confidence. The more you use this lens, the fuller, brighter, and more meaningful your everyday world becomes. Not because life is perfect, but because your courage to see differently lets abundance in. To begin mastering a lens for abundance, start by taking a thoughtful inventory of your current thought patterns. Notice when your mind quickly drifts to what is missing, where things feel hard, or where comparisons create unease. At these moments, pause. Then, gently retrain your attention to ask, what is here? What resources, strengths, or opportunities do I have right now? This seemingly simple question is powerful as it nudges your brain to scan for support and abundance rather than deficiency. Write down your answers, however modest, and make this reflection a daily exercise. Over time, this will help you identify small yet meaningful forms of prosperity that may have previously gone unnoticed. A practical step you can take each day is to make a fullness list. Rather than focusing on a traditional gratitude journal, challenge yourself to write 3 ways in which your life is already full. For example, after a stressful shift, Kate, a customer service worker, began listing not only the stability of her job, but the ability to share a laugh with her coworker and the satisfaction of managing a tough call. This reframing created a shift in her evening mood and made her feel more capable, valued, and hopeful for the following day. As you experiment with this list, notice the adjustments in your outlook. Minor victories come into sharper focus, and the temptation to compare yourself with others naturally weakens. Another step is to turn routine challenges into practice for your new lens. When frustration, disappointment, or envy arises, see if you can pause, take a breath, and actively look for a hidden gift or fresh perspective within the challenge. For instance, Sam, a college student constantly bothered by a heavy workload, tried shifting his approach. When overwhelmed, he identified what skills he had opportunity to strengthen and noticed the learning available in chaos. Soon, he was able to spot growth where exhaustion once pulled him down, leading to greater motivation, satisfaction, and resilience throughout his semester. The real benefit of these habits is their ripple effect. As your mind grows more skilled at noticing the ways abundance shows up, you train yourself to be less reactive to setbacks and less dependent on specific outcomes for your mood or sense of worth. The quality of your relationships improves because you become more generous with praise, recognition, and support, just as you notice these things in your own life. You find your self-esteem rising from the recognition of your existing gifts and your hope expanding to include new possibilities you would have missed before. Now take a few minutes to try out the fullness list for yourself. Reflect on what is present, stable, or nourishing in your life at this moment, whether it's a friendship, a resource, or an inner quality. Review your list at the close of your day and observe how your emotions and mindset shift just by tuning in to abundance. Remember, using this lens will become more effortless with consistent attention, turning life's ordinary scenes into canvases for hope, thankfulness, and possibility. Next, you'll discover how presence and gratitude dance together, amplifying each other to unlock deeper meaning and satisfaction in your daily story. Continue growing with the Intentional Prosperity community. Subscribe for more inspiration, and share your discoveries in the comments to ignite abundance in others and yourself. Chapter 6. The Power of Presence. Imagine if you could press pause on the whirl of life, and for just a few moments, everything around you slowed into sharp focus. What if, instead of feeling left behind by yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries, you could claim the full richness of now? Presence is the unspoken heart of gratitude, and yet for many, it is the greatest challenge to achieve. Despite its profound impact, presence slips away all too easily, swept aside by constant notifications, racing thoughts, and endless responsibilities. From the moment your day begins, you are pulled in several directions at once. Plans stack on top of each other, distractions fight for attention, and before you know it, the hours slip by without you truly engaging with a single one. This loss of presence is surprisingly common in today's fast-paced world. You may find yourself physically somewhere but mentally 1,000 miles away, lost in problems to solve or tasks yet to complete. Genuine connection with loved ones becomes difficult when your mind is replaying unfinished emails or worries about the week ahead. Even joyful occasions are easily blurred by the persistent background noise of "what's next?" or "what did I forget to do?" The high cost of this scattered focus is not always obvious, but it builds quietly, diminishing your capacity for joy, dulling appreciation for life's gifts, and leaving relationships hungering for deeper attention. Without presence, each moment passes by unclaimed, like a missed opportunity or a faint melody you can never recall. What transforms this cycle isn't the removal of responsibilities, but a new way of meeting them. The solution comes in embracing the intentional practice of presence. choosing to fully inhabit the moment, even in the middle of life's messiness or routine. This doesn't mean disengaging from the world or ignoring necessary thoughts. Rather, it calls you to gently bring your awareness back again and again to this breath, this conversation, or this view outside your window. Unlike perfectionistic solutions that urge constant control, presence asks only for your willingness to show up wholeheartedly as you are. Its beauty is found in simplicity, observing your coffee steam in the morning, giving someone your undivided attention, or noticing how sunlight falls through your window. Making space for these ordinary miracles, even for just a minute or two, breaks the trance of busyness and grounds you in gratitude. The core idea here is that when you bring your full spirit into the current moment, you invite deeper meaning, intimacy, and peace into your everyday experience. Presence magnifies beauty, amplifies feelings of connection, and makes gratitude not just a fleeting thought, but a living, breathing force in your life. Challenges lose their grip as you face them clear-eyed, unburdened by layers of judgment or hurried distraction. Small details, like the sound of laughter, the taste of warm bread, or the warmth of a hand to hold, become vibrant touchpoints for appreciation. Through presence, you reclaim lost moments, discover wisdom and simplicity, and open the way for abundance to reveal itself, one real and grounded second at a time. The path to greater presence begins with actionable, gentle shifts you can use at any moment throughout your day. Start by choosing just one recurring activity, pouring your morning drink, walking to your car, greeting your family when you come home. As you do this, draw in a slow, conscious breath and intentionally tune into your surroundings, your body, and your emotions. Instead of letting your mind drift forward to what's next or back to what just happened, call your attention fully to this moment. Feel the texture of your cup, the ground beneath your feet, the warmth in a smile, or the quiet behind your thoughts. This mini practice anchors you, even in busy routines, and will begin to stretch your presence like a muscle that grows stronger with repetition. Take your practice deeper by setting aside 2 minutes during the day for undistracted observation. Put away your phone, turn away from your to-do list, and simply note 5 things you see, 4 unique sounds, 3 sensations, 2 scents, and 1 emotion right where you are. This simple practice disrupts autopilot thinking and plants you squarely in the present, where gratitude easily follows. For example, Ethan, whose work life was a never-ending rush from one meeting to another, tried this routine before stepping into his busiest meeting of the day. Instead of battling nerves or replaying past mistakes, he blinked into the sycamore tree he could see through his window, felt his own breath steadying, and quietly named his gratitude for colleagues who supported his ideas. Not only did this help him enter meetings calmer and more attentive, but it steadily changed how he approached every tense situation throughout his week. To bring presence into your relationships, experiment with truly listening. The next time someone speaks to you, silence the urge to interrupt or frame your own reply in your mind. Instead, offer the simple gift of your complete attention. Notice the details of their voice, their body language, and even the spaces between words. This was a game changer for Maya, who realized that her habit of multitasking at home left her feeling isolated, even in the company of her family. When she began to put down her phone and focus fully on her children's stories after dinner, those brief, attentive moments blossomed into longer, more joyful conversations and a renewed closeness each evening. The benefit of presence is felt not just by you, but by others. It connects, strengthens, and heals. As you make these intentional choices, the world around you begins to shift. You may experience deeper relaxation, greater clarity, and moments of contentment during activities you once rushed or dreaded. Opportunities for gratitude become easier to spot, stress grows lighter, and a lasting sense of peace infuses your days. Consider making presence part of your daily rhythm. Pause, breathe, look, and listen, transforming ordinary moments into extraordinary ones with attention and care. Now, take a small notebook or your phone, and wherever you are right now, jot down 3 things you notice as you root yourself in this very moment. Allow today to be your starting point, knowing that every act of presence will strengthen your gratitude and your sense of abundance. The next chapter will explore how the patterns of your thoughts build the foundation for a truly prosperous mindset. So stay tuned to continue your journey inward and upward. If these practices speak to you, stay inspired by subscribing to Intentional Prosperity and share your story or tips in the comments. Let's help each other grow more present day by day. Chapter 7. Patterns of Prosperous Thinking. Have you ever paused to wonder why some people, even amid life's setbacks, seem to quickly regain their optimism and move forward, while others get caught in cycles of doubt or self-sabotage? Imagine if you could peek inside the mind of someone who approaches challenges with creativity, sees hope in problems, and finds silver linings in adversity. What you'd find is not luck, but a series of thinking patterns, habits of mind that repeat beneath the surface and turn obstacles into fuel for growth. Prosperous thinking isn't reserved for a select few. It's a mindset anyone can strive for. It emerges from intentional awareness and the daily practice of reshaping the inner conversation that runs, sometimes unchecked, through every waking moment. So many people silently wrestle with patterns of thought that undermine confidence and limit progress. Perhaps you recognize your own voice in this struggle. You might notice, for example, that when something goes wrong, your first mental response is to imagine the worst outcome or blame yourself harshly. Maybe your mind replays past mistakes or magnifies small annoyances until hope feels out of reach. Self-doubt creeps in when facing new opportunities, and thoughts loop endlessly over what-ifs and not-enoughs. This drain of mental energy is exhausting, yet it lingers because it chunks away at your belief in personal capability. Whether these cycles are inherited from family, shaped by culture, or simply habitual, they keep many people's thinking aligned with scarcity, regret, or fear. Transforming this reality begins by realizing that your thought patterns are not permanent or fixed. They are learned, reinforced by repetition, and most importantly, open to change. The solution lies in developing the habit of prosperous thinking, which means consciously selecting thoughts and inner narratives that uplift, encourage, and empower. Shifting your thinking patterns is not about ignoring problems or wearing a mask of forced positivity. Instead, it's about gently interrupting old mental loops and asking new questions. What good could come from this? What strengths have I built from past challenges? How can I see myself with more compassion and hope? When you steer your mind towards possibility, self-support, and gratitude, you train your brain to see pathways where before you saw only walls. At the heart of prosperous thinking is a steady commitment to self-observation and positive redirection. Each time you choose to reframe a complaint into a curiosity, what is this moment teaching me? Or turn a self-criticism into encouragement, I'm learning and that counts. You add another brick to your foundation of resilience. Over time, the benefits multiply. When thinking patterns evolve, so do emotions and behaviors. Not only do setbacks lose their power to defeat you, but confidence flowers and creative problem-solving becomes more natural. By adopting prosperous thinking, you lift the ceiling off your limitations and invite a more hopeful, energized, and fulfilled self into everyday living, ready to prosper from within regardless of outside circumstances. To shift your thinking patterns toward prosperity, begin by observing your thoughts without judgment. Whenever you catch yourself spiraling into self-doubt or negativity, pause and label the recurring thought. Acknowledge it as a mental habit, not a permanent part of your identity. This awareness is your first step, because simply noticing the loops, like, I always mess this up, or things never work out for me, gives you the power to consider new possibilities. For the next step, consciously insert a question that opens your perspective. Is this the only way to see this? Or what would I tell a friend who was feeling this way? By stepping outside the old pattern, you create space for a more hopeful, compassionate outlook to take root. This one choice, repeated daily, is the foundation of prosperous thinking. Put this into action by creating a daily thought check-in. Set an alarm or link it to another habit, perhaps breakfast or your evening routine. At that time, take 2 minutes to write down a thought that challenged you and how you might reframe it. For example, when Priya, a graduate student, realized she was telling herself, I'll never be good enough for this program, She paused and reframed her thought as, I am learning every day, and every mistake is proof of my growth. This consistent practice let her gradually build a more supportive inner dialogue that strengthened her resilience during stressful semesters. You might try this with thoughts about work, relationships, or your own abilities, and watch how even minor reframings lead to major shifts in emotion, motivation, and results. Another powerful technique is to adopt the habit of possibility thinking. The next time an obstacle appears, resist the urge to dwell on the problem and ask instead, what can I learn from this? What is one step I can take toward a better outcome? Ahmed, a small business owner facing unexpected setbacks, practiced this and discovered solutions by brainstorming alternatives, seeking advice, and remaining open to change, instead of shutting down in frustration. Over time, his confidence grew, his relationships improved, and he found himself celebrating progress he would have previously ignored. Taking small steps like these, again and again, slowly rewires your mind toward optimism and action. The benefits of cultivating prosperous thinking ripple into every area of your life. Stress levels drop, creativity expands, and relationships become more harmonious because you approach challenges with openness instead of criticism. Friends and family may notice your new outlook, and you may inspire others to listen to the tone of their own inner conversations. The process is gradual, but you will feel the difference through greater mental freedom, courage, and hope. Try starting your own thought check-in today and be gentle with your progress. Write a thought that limited you, then gently ask how you could see it more prosperously. Read over your past entries to notice your journey and celebrate each small win along the way. The practice of prosperous thinking is not just an improvement, but a doorway to resilience and sustainable inner happiness. Next, we turn to the flow of receiving, how openness to abundance changes not just our thoughts, but also how we allow support, love, and prosperity to arrive in our lives. Stay engaged with the Intentional Prosperity community and let us know how your thinking patterns are evolving by commenting, liking, subscribing, and offering your suggestions for future chapters. We thrive when we help one another grow. Chapter 8, The Flow of Receiving. Have you ever wondered why opportunities, kindness, or abundance sometimes seem to slip past you, even when you want them most? Imagine standing in a gentle stream that wants to give you water, but your fists are balled tight, unable to let anything in. For many people, the ability to receive, to graciously accept support, praise, prosperity, or help is blocked not by a lack of resources, but by deeply ingrained habits and beliefs. While much emphasis is placed on giving and striving, few realize that receiving is an equally powerful component of flourishing. It is the other half of life's cycle, yet it's often left underdeveloped, burdened by self-doubt, fear of dependence, or the suspicion that you do not truly deserve what flows your way. These challenges are surprisingly common and quietly limiting. You might catch yourself brushing off genuine compliments, downplaying your achievements, or declining offers for help out of pride or embarrassment. You might hesitate to accept a gift because it feels awkward, or believe that accepting help is an admission of weakness. Perhaps you worry that if you take too much, you are somehow depriving others. Such patterns, often rooted in early lessons about self-reliance or worthiness, reinforce a false view that giving is noble, but receiving is selfish, risky, or even shameful. As a result, the flow of abundance in your life is disrupted, creating imbalance. Generosity becomes an emptying experience because the natural replenishment of receiving is blocked. The journey to change this reality starts with a simple, transformative truth. Receiving is not a passive act, but an active practice of openness and trust. It begins when you decide to unclench, to soften, to make room for good things to arrive in your hands and heart. This new approach recognizes that when you fully receive, with gratitude, humility, and acceptance, you honor not only yourself, but also the giver and the synergy of connection. By allowing others to give to you, resources freely circulate, deepening relationships, building trust, and inviting more opportunities to flow into your experience. Cultivating a healthy and even joyful receptivity lays the groundwork for sustainable abundance, because you recognize that worth is not measured solely by output, but also by the receiving of care, recognition, or resources that fuel your own capacity to contribute. Embracing the flow of receiving is also liberating. When you allow yourself to receive without guilt or suspicion, you naturally model this openness for those around you. Children notice how you receive encouragement. Friends become inspired to share more honestly when their gestures are valued. Workplaces grow more collaborative when help offered is genuinely welcomed. The practice of receiving restores balance and enables the cycle of gratitude to continue. What comes in can then be given back, enriched through you. Committing to this mindset clears old blockages and builds a sense of partnership with life itself. Possibilities begin to unfold, connections deepen, and the daily journey is suffused with support, joy, and a gracious abundance that feels both empowering and deeply deserved. To activate the flow of receiving in your life, begin by refining your awareness each time a gesture of kindness, support, or opportunity comes your way. Each time you're offered praise, whether for your efforts at work, a meal cooked at home, or your personality, pause, make eye contact, and say a heartfelt thank you without dismissing or minimizing it. If someone extends help or offers a gift, allow yourself to accept it fully, noticing any discomfort or urge to decline, but gently turning your response into appreciation rather than resistance. This simple but consistent redirection trains your mind to see receiving not as a weakness, but as generosity's necessary companion. Make it a daily practice to notice moments when life or others are trying to offer you something, however small, a compliment from a stranger, a friend's invitation to talk, or even a favorable change in your circumstances. Instead of reflexively thinking, "I don't deserve this," remind yourself that receiving completes the circle of abundance and that your willingness to accept is a sign of self-value. Consider how Alex, an entrepreneur always hesitant to accept credit for his team's success, began consciously receiving compliments from his staff. Instead of brushing them aside, he chose to affirm, "Thank you, that means a lot to me." Over time, his attitude changed, deepening trust and creating a culture where praise felt genuine and motivation soared. To build on this, practice saying yes a little more often when support or kindness is genuine. Allow yourself to receive assistance with routine tasks or emotional support during challenging times, seeing it as a sign of mutual respect and connection. Jordan, a single parent, often felt that accepting help from neighbors meant admitting she couldn't manage everything alone. When she shifted her mindset to see such help as a gift to her and her helpers alike, stress eased, friendships blossomed, and her own capacity to give in return was replenished. As you continue to act with openness, you'll become aware of the emotional shifts within. The guilt and hesitancy around accepting gifts will gradually give way to mutual joy, trust, and gratitude. Life feels more balanced and opportunity flows more freely when you join in the rhythm of giving and receiving. It's not about keeping score, it's about leaning into the natural, nurturing cycle where each act of acceptance breathes life into future acts of kindness, whether you are on the receiving or giving end of the exchange. Challenge yourself to let something in today, a favor, a warm word, or a quiet moment of grace, and notice what feelings surface. Practice responding with openness by simply saying, "Thank you, I appreciate it." Allow yourself just for a moment to enjoy the support and accept its presence fully. As each day passes, these small moments will build a new pattern, expanding your comfort with the abundance the world is eager to offer. In the coming chapter, you will learn how strengthening the foundations of mental wealth can turn gratitude and receptivity into a reliable source of personal power, stability, and genuine prosperity. If you've enjoyed this shift, subscribe to Intentional Prosperity and share how opening to receive has changed your perspective. You never know whom your story will encourage to embrace abundance. Chapter 9: Foundations of Mental Wealth. What defines true wealth? Imagine for a moment that all your possessions and accolades disappear, and yet you still wake up with a heart full of peace, optimism, and confidence, able to face any challenge without losing your sense of self-worth. This is the essence of mental wealth, the quiet strength and inner richness that persist regardless of external circumstances. It is about having a resilient mind able to generate gratitude and resourcefulness day after day, Mental wealth, unlike material riches, does not fade with economic changes, can't be taken by misfortune, and does not depend on recognition from others. It's an internal foundation, accessible to anyone, that sustains fulfillment over a lifetime. Too often, the modern pursuit of success prioritizes acquisitions and status at the expense of our mental reserves. It is easy to fall into the trap of equating busyness with value, or believing happiness will arrive with the next paycheck, achievement, or public acknowledgement. Many people feel like they are spinning their wheels, working harder, striving for more, but feeling increasingly depleted as time passes. The stresses of daily life, uncertainty about the future, or past disappointments can erode confidence and leave you feeling ungrounded. In quiet moments, you might sense an emptiness that no worldly possession seems to fill, or notice that even joyful events don't bring lasting contentment. The absence of a strong inner foundation makes it difficult to weather setbacks, break unhealthy patterns, or feel genuine gratitude, especially when things don't go according to plan. The transformative solution is to invest purposefully in the foundations of your own mental wealth. This does not require grand gestures or years of searching. Rather, it is about laying down consistent mental habits that fuel optimism, wisdom, and peace from within. The process begins by treating your mind as the garden from which all your experiences grow. Just as you would nourish soil, protect roots, and prune away what doesn't serve healthy growth, your thoughts, beliefs, and focus shape your internal wealth. Engaging in daily routines of gratitude, reflection, and healthy self-talk forms the bedrock of your mental prosperity, while habits such as mindfulness and self-compassion become the protective walls that shield your spirit from life's inevitable storms. The first great benefit of cultivating mental wealth is a resilience that goes beyond mere endurance. When gratitude and optimism become central to how you think and act, setbacks are absorbed without crippling self-doubt or despair. Confidence emerges from the inside, unshaken by temporary difficulties. Forging this wealth means prioritizing what truly enriches you: meaningful connections, purposeful living, and the satisfaction of genuine progress over the fleeting approval of others. This sense of security frees you from chronic comparison, overthinking, and chasing validation outside yourself. As you begin to live from a place of inner richness, every achievement, every challenge, and every ordinary day become opportunities to experience joy, contribution, and a deep wellspring of gratitude, independent of external measures of success. To begin building a foundation of mental wealth, start by anchoring your days in a practice of gratitude and reflection. Each morning or evening, take a few minutes to write down something you appreciate about yourself, your life, or your surroundings. These moments don't need to be extraordinary. Perhaps it's the resilience you showed during a tough conversation, or the quiet comfort of your favorite chair. By making this ritual a daily habit, you nurture a pattern of looking for what is stable, positive, and meaningful, even in life's most unpredictable moments. A simple gratitude journal offers tangible proof of your internal resources, reminding you that real richness goes far deeper than what can be measured or collected. Another key step is to practice self-talk that builds you up instead of tearing you down. Notice the default phrases you use in moments of stress or failure. When negative self-comments, like "I'm hopeless at this," or "I always make mistakes," arise, pause and consciously replace them with gentle and honest encouragement, such as "I am learning and growing," or "One tough moment doesn't define me." Take Maya, for example, a young professional overwhelmed by setbacks at work. By replacing self-critique with a silent mantra of "This is temporary, and I have handled difficult things before," she found herself growing more confident and less reliant on external praise. Eventually, her sense of worth became more sustainable, allowing her to approach new challenges with steady courage. Integrate mindful breaks into your day, too, by practicing a few moments of intentional breathing or brief reflection. Whether you're pausing at a red light or sitting quietly before a meeting, let yourself feel grounded in the present. Scan your body for tension and allow your breath to release it. Gradually, these mindful check-ins accumulate into a habit of responding calmly rather than reacting impulsively. Consider Raj, who struggled with anxiety during daily commutes. By simply counting his breaths and returning his mind to the present, he shifted his usual frustration into gratitude for the time to prepare thoughtfully for his day. The ripple effects were noticeable. He felt less rushed, handled stress with more patience, and found satisfaction blossoming from the inside out. The benefits of strengthening your foundation of mental wealth extend far beyond surface calm. You will notice greater emotional resilience, a more persistent optimism, and a deep feeling of self-assurance, no matter what life throws your way. The need for endless comparison fades as you grow comfortable with your inner value. Relationships improve when you engage with others from a place of confidence and generosity rather than insecurity or grasping. You become much more responsive to life, open to growth, and far less shaken by the opinions or judgments of others. Begin today by starting a gratitude and encouragement journal. For a week, spend just 5 minutes each day writing supportive words, noting strengths, or capturing moments of appreciation. Each entry is a building block in your personal vault of mental wealth. As the days pass, review what you've written and take encouragement from your progress. Remember that true prosperity is built within, and every reflection adds another layer to your lasting security. Looking ahead, your journey will explore what it truly means to live a life of enough, free from the pull of endless wanting or scarcity. Be sure to continue the adventure with intentional prosperity. Subscribe for more inspiration and share your wins or suggestions. Your story could be the insight someone else needs for their next step towards gratitude and abundance. Chapter 10. A Life of Enough. Have you ever quietly wondered if you'll ever finally have enough? Enough time, money, approval, or happiness to feel truly at ease with your life? Imagine a day when the anxious hum of not measuring up disappears, replaced by a deep, gentle certainty that you and your life are already whole. For many, this vision tastes like an impossible dream. The pressure to achieve and accumulate saturates our society, making it difficult to feel content at any stage. More recognition, more possessions, and more likes always seem just within or out of reach. Somewhere inwardly, you might sense that no matter what you do, the bar keeps moving, and peace is always one step ahead. This pain of never-enoughness is both universal and deeply personal. It shows up in older adults who fear it's too late, in parents who wake up worrying if they're giving enough to their children, or in professionals working late, driven by an unspoken belief that their value lies in performance. It's in the silent comparison to someone else's perfect moments and the subdued ache when your own dreams stall or fall short. Even when moments of happiness arrive, attention quickly shifts to what's missing or might go wrong. The result is exhaustion and a chronic hunger that milestones and material comforts can never quite satisfy. Striving endlessly for more, people forget how to breathe in the present and savor what's already good, meaningful, and real. The breakthrough comes with a simple but profound shift, the conscious choice to embrace a life of enough. This is not complacency or settling for less. Rather, it's a radical permission to be at home with what you have, who you are, and where you are right now. The solution lies in redefining enough, not as an external checkpoint, but as an internal experience cultivated through awareness, gratitude, and self-compassion. This mindset turns your attention inward, urging you to notice the fullness already here, rather than racing toward an imagined future that never quite arrives. The practice of enoughness calls for both honesty about your wants and a gentle acceptance when life does not deliver everything you expect. Living a life of enough builds confidence from within. When you step outside the loop of relentless striving, your energy is freed to enjoy your present and invest deeply in authentic relationships and passions. You begin to witness the beauty of your life without constant judgment or comparison, and you become less influenced by the shifting expectations of others or society at large. At its core, this approach fosters real joy, a quiet, sustainable delight arising from the parts of life already in your hands. Releasing attachment to endless more, you open the door to grounded fulfillment, deeper gratitude, and new discoveries about what truly matters for your well-being. This isn't simply satisfaction with what's left over after ambition, but a joyful inhabiting of your real, present, ordinary life, a life that, rightly seen and claimed, is already enough. Recognizing and living from a sense of enough starts with introducing regular reflection into your routine. Begin by pausing daily to ask yourself, what feels complete in my life right now? Or where in this moment do I already have what I need? These questions tune your mind to notice sufficiency rather than deficiency. For instance, Anna, a young teacher, found she was constantly striving, worried she was never giving her students enough or wasn't far enough in her career. Once she adopted the practice of reflecting each evening on the partnership she'd built, the laughter shared in her classroom, and the steady growth of her students, she found immense ease and discovered that what she was already doing and who she already was truly mattered. Small daily acknowledgments like these can reorient your entire experience of self-worth and possibility. Another actionable step is to practice deliberate gratitude for the present, especially in areas where you're most prone to wanting more, whether it's time, resources, or personal achievements. Each time you notice yourself shifting into the cycle of comparison or restlessness, gently bring your awareness back to one thing you appreciate in your immediate world. It might be your health, a friend's reliable encouragement, the tranquility of early mornings, or a weekend meal. Mark, a mid-career professional driven by goals, used to never feel productive enough. Adding a gratitude check-in at the end of each day helped him celebrate his completed projects, the support from colleagues, and moments of creative ease, allowing him to end more days with a sense of accomplishment and contentment instead of perpetual chasing. To deepen this transformation, take intentional breaks from constant input and goal chasing by building moments of rest, silence, or slow enjoyment into your week. Let yourself linger over a simple meal, walk slowly without a destination, or just sit with no agenda, but to notice your breath and the world around you. Nicole, once overwhelmed with the constant need to do more, began these pauses during her lunch break. Within weeks, the habit helped reduce her anxiety and increased her satisfaction with both her work and personal life. Presence teaches your mind that moments matter, and soon you realize that fullness isn't something you need to achieve. It is something you allow and recognize as already present. As you embrace these steps, you will find less pressure to compete or constantly prove yourself, greater appreciation for small joys, and a new steadiness throughout the ups and downs of daily living. The loop of dissatisfaction gives way to a foundation of inner calm, leaving space for joy to flower naturally instead of through force. These changes not only anchor you in gratitude, but also heighten your self-care and deepen the sense of calm that colors each day. To integrate a life of enough, try starting or ending your day by writing out 3 ways in which your life already satisfies you. Let this become a living practice, a touchstone in times of insecurity or restlessness. As your entries grow, you will train your mind and heart to trust in your own sufficiency. Looking ahead, you will explore how adopting an identity rooted in gratitude can permanently uplift your approach to life. For more insights and encouragement, join our Intentional Prosperity channel. Subscribe, share your moments of enough, and offer suggestions for how we can keep serving one another's growth on this rewarding journey. Chapter 11. The Identity of Gratitude. Who are you at your core when all the roles and achievements fall away? Imagine if, beneath every title, expectation, and possession, you found an identity built not on striving or scarcity, but on the quiet strength of gratitude. Many people define themselves by what they do, what they own, or how they compare to others. Ambition and goal setting are valuable, but when self-worth is tied to outcome, even victories can feel hollow and fleeting. The journey of cultivating gratitude naturally progresses to a deeper level, inviting you to let go of the definitions handed to you by others or shaped unconsciously by old fears. Instead, you're called to embrace an identity given shape and stability by daily appreciation, the kind that persists through seasons of both plenty and challenge. This challenge is universal and often difficult to spot. You might catch yourself thinking, I'll be satisfied when I achieve this promotion, find my ideal partner, or earn recognition. Yet once these are reached, the goalposts move, or the old feeling of not enoughness quietly returns. Or perhaps loss or rejection unsettles you, and suddenly your sense of worthiness feels fragile or dependent on external validation. In these moments, grateful feelings can seem like a thin blanket, pleasant but not strong enough to support you through life's storms. When identity is based on fleeting success, changing circumstances, or the fluctuating approval of others, it becomes hard to find peace, resilience, or real self-acceptance. The transformative solution involves making gratitude intrinsic to your identity, not just a feeling experienced in good moments, but the core lens through which you see the world and yourself. This means viewing every aspect of your life, including strengths, flaws, victories, losses, and ordinary days, through the unchanging attitude of thankfulness. Instead of selectively highlighting only what shines, you train yourself to cherish the journey in all its variety. Every past version of yourself, every trial that grew you, and every small accomplishment alongside the larger milestones. As gratitude roots itself in your sense of self, it stops being an act or a checklist and becomes the ground you stand on, a quiet but unshakable confidence in the worth and richness of your whole story. Adopting an identity of gratitude leads to profound shifts. You stop defining yourself by what's missing or by how you compare to others, and instead begin to value what's unique and enduring about your path. Ups and downs become familiar terrain rather than cause for self-criticism. As you affirm with each sunrise, "I am a person who sees and appreciates goodness," you change not only your thoughts and moods, but your very posture toward life. You approach relationships with less neediness and more generosity. Respond to setbacks with greater perspective and savor joy, even if it arrives quietly and without applause. From this solid ground, you can build a more purposeful, compassionate, and resilient life that is immune to the shifting winds of circumstance. Start moving gratitude to the core of your identity by creating a daily ritual to remind yourself of your steady, appreciative foundation. The simplest way is to begin each morning with a quiet affirmation such as, "At my core, I am thankful for this day and my place in it." Speak it aloud, write it in a journal, or simply carry it in your heart as a grounding intention. Over time, this anchors you in a self-image defined by gratitude, not by what you do or what you achieve. To make this identity even more real, revisit memories or experiences that help shape your character. Name moments where gratitude helped you survive, heal, or grow, when kindness, resilience, or simple beauty made you more yourself. Sarah, who once measured her worth solely by her career wins, began ending her days with a reflection: "One way I lived thankfully today." Realizing she found gratitude not only in successes but in gentle persistence during setbacks, she began to see her caring, hopeful inner nature as her strongest asset. That simple shift changed her self-talk from "Am I doing enough?" to "Who am I becoming?" through gratitude. Embrace honest self-appreciation by making space for gratitude in areas where you are normally your harshest critic. If you catch yourself criticizing a mistake or perceived flaw, pause and reframe. Think, what did I learn here? How did I show up with integrity, curiosity, or courage? Instead of seeing setbacks as proof of lack, treat them as powerful lessons or humble steps along a worthy path. Michael, after years of self-judgment over relationships that didn't last, signed a gratitude letter to himself, honoring his desire for connection, his willingness to try again, and his newfound kindness for old mistakes. As a result, Michael began speaking to himself with greater warmth and sincerity, which influenced his openness in new relationships and deepened his ability to forgive and appreciate others as well. Intentionally align your daily actions with this identity by seeking out opportunities to express thanks both openly and privately. Thank the people in your life, even for small contributions. Acknowledge tiny beauty, like the warmth of sunshine or the smell of fresh bread, and nurture a spirit of generosity. Each act, no matter how minor, reinforces the powerful truth: you are someone who is rooted in gratitude. The more you act in line with this truth, the stronger it grows, shaping your attitudes, reactions, and sense of purpose. When difficulties arise, lean into gratitude not as a forced response, but as an honest recognition that even hardship can yield new wisdom or bring you closer to your values. Give yourself the gift of celebrating your growth as your identity of gratitude expands. Notice how your confidence grows more authentic, your mood steadier, and your relationships more honest. Mistakes no longer undermine your sense of self. Achievements are sweeter but not necessary for your core happiness. This is a journey, not a destination. By returning day after day to the quiet truth that you are, above all, a grateful person, you become a source of light for yourself and those around you. Now set aside some time today to write a gratitude statement about your core self, then carry it with you as a reminder of who you truly are. Ready to move forward? In the final chapter, you will learn to solidify this transformation by shaping gratitude into a permanent habit, the ultimate success skill for a life of prosperity. If these ideas resonate with you, subscribe to Intentional Prosperity, share your gratitude affirmations, or suggest new topics to help our community grow on this meaningful path. Chapter 12, The Habit of Success. What if the invisible thread connecting your best days, your deepest relationships, and your proudest achievements was not luck or sheer talent, but a habit cultivated quietly over time? Consider the power of routines in shaping your success. Brushing your teeth daily protects your health. Checking in with loved ones nurtures closeness. Setting aside moments for deep work moves your goals forward, even on hard days. Just as our habits mold the tangible shape of our lives, so too does the habit of gratitude shape everything that's possible for us beneath the surface. Yet for so many, gratitude shows up in bursts, bright but brief, soon overshadowed by the next urgency or disappointment. You may long for the sense of stability, peace, and motivation that comes from a genuinely grateful approach to living, but find it hard to maintain presence in the face of stress, setbacks, or distraction. The common challenge is that most people treat gratitude as an emotion to be felt in special moments, instead of a success habit to be deliberately practiced, honed, and woven into ordinary routines. When life is demanding or when disappointment stings, it's easy to put thankfulness on hold, telling yourself you'll revisit it when time permits or when things improve. But this approach keeps your emotional life unpredictable and dependent on circumstance. As a result, the momentum of positive change, whether it's in work, health, or relationships, can stall, and the fulfillment you desire dims in the background of someday. Even with good intentions, without structure, thankfulness often fades before it has a chance to transform your mindset or daily experience. The solution, surprisingly simple but deeply impactful, is to make gratitude into a daily, almost automatic practice. Treat it as non-negotiable as taking vitamins, getting restful sleep, or moving your body. The habit of gratitude acts not just as emotional comfort, but as a powerful tool for resilience, creativity, and long-term prosperity. By making space for grateful reflection, you anchor your brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles, to bounce back from rough patches, and to find purpose in routines that might otherwise feel draining. Rather than waiting for perfect conditions, you generate good conditions by training your mind, day by day, to notice what's working, who you value, and how much is possible in the present moment. Embracing gratitude as a success habit means you begin to greet each morning with an open mind and a readiness to find meaning in both challenge and triumph. You condition yourself to see setbacks, not as evidence you're failing, but as invitations to learn and find hidden strengths. The daily repetition of grateful thoughts builds lasting neural pathways that make optimism, perseverance, and even joy your default state. The benefits stretch outward, compounding to support your ambitions, deepen your connections, and lift your entire sense of well-being. By choosing gratitude consistently, you not only savor the best in your life, you actually invite in more to be thankful for, amplifying prosperity in a way that is sustainable and deeply personal. To turn gratitude into a success habit that lasts, begin small and remain consistent. Set aside a few minutes at the same time every day, whether upon waking, before meals, or as you wind down at night, to record 3 things for which you are genuinely thankful. Your list might include the support of a friend, progress on a project, or simply a moment of laughter in traffic. The routine itself will soon become its own reward, encouraging your mind to scan for positivity throughout each day. Talia, for example, struggled with self-doubt as she juggled work and parenting. When she started her daily Thankful 3 journal, She noticed herself naturally redirecting attention to silver linings after difficult meetings or stressful afternoons with her children. Her energy shifted, patience increased, and she rediscovered pride and pleasure in the small rituals that filled her life. Integrate gratitude into daily interactions by making a practice of expressing it aloud to others. Whether you take a second to thank a colleague for their support, leave a short note of appreciation for your partner, or send a message to an old friend, letting gratitude flow outward cements your own habit and strengthens your relationships. James, a team leader, began ending staff meetings by publicly honoring someone's effort or positive attitude. As he did this week after week, the work environment brightened and team morale soared. His personal commitment to gratitude cultivated a ripple effect of recognition and encouragement. Strengthen your success habit further by revisiting it in moments of difficulty. When disappointments arise or mistakes occur, challenge yourself to find gratitude, even if it is simply for the lesson learned or the opportunity to try again. Lily, a small business owner, learned to pause after setbacks and identify one thing for which she was grateful in that moment, no matter how minor. This habit protected her confidence during tough seasons, helped her maintain hope, and afloat her to keep moving forward with greater trust in her resilience. The true transformation of making gratitude habitual comes with the compound interest of daily repetition. Not only will your own mindset realign toward optimism and tenacity, but you will also inspire others by the way you handle challenge and blessing alike. The path of intentional gratitude is not about pretending away hardship or forcing fake cheerfulness. Instead, it builds endurance, nurtures hope, and ensures continued growth. Making this shift may feel uncomfortable initially, but over weeks and months, it weaves a layer of deep stability into everything you do. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of thankful thinking, prosperous living, the ultimate success habit. Throughout these chapters, you've learned how to plant the seeds of gratitude, nurture your inner abundance, reshape mindset patterns, and anchor prosperity in daily life. With practical tools for awareness, appreciation, and the habit of receiving, you have the keys to sustained happiness and fulfillment. Remember, self-worth and success grow from small, consistent acts of thankfulness. Keep practicing and watch your life become a reflection of appreciation, resilience, and prosperity. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Intentional Prosperity to stay connected and continue this inspiring journey together.